Welcome back to Stocks with BK, and I'm BK. And on this episode, we're going to go through stocks I bought today. It has been a busy day. I've bought quite a few stocks. I'm going to go through which ones I'm buying and why. Of course, as usual, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not licensed. You should talk to one of those before you invest in the stock market because it's risky. You could lose everything you invest. I hope you don't, but you could. But I think investing for the long term is still the way to go. And these are some of the stocks I'm doing for my $1,000 portfolio where I put $1,000 in a month to show you and educate you on how you invest in the stock market and how doing that consistently over a long period of time can really help you. So here we are. Yesterday, I put in orders for DraftKings and General Motors for 2 shares of DraftKings and 3 shares of General Motors. So I got those this morning, but today I decided to go ahead and do a few more purchases as I start to build out this portfolio. Now, the portfolio is going to be built out over time and the sizes of shares are going to change, but I wanted to go ahead and knock out 4 stocks, which I'm going to go through with you today and tell you why I bought them. The first one is probably the most speculative stock I own. And speculative because it's IPOE. It is a SPAC. It is a SPAC that is bringing SoFi, the platform I'm using, and I receive no money from SoFi to do this. No referrals, no anything. I just think that SoFi has something interesting to offer the future of finance and banking. So that's going to be my most speculative stock in this portfolio. So IPOE will eventually become SoFi, which is this app we're using for this investing. Now, my largest investment account is not with SoFi. So don't think that this is some ploy for them or anything like that. It's actually with another company. So I do like them. The shares are cheap, $16.93 per share. I got 10 of those for $169. It's down about 1.99% today, but that's okay. We're investing for the long haul, and I'm investing that maybe SoFi could be a big player. And if you look at some of those other market caps like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, where the lowest of those is $80 a share, there's a lot of room that could grow over years. And I've got time. Got time, no rush. All right, that's the one that we're using right here. Let's look at the other three, and let's start with Palantir, which I bought at $23 a share. And some of you know this stock and are probably like, oh my gosh, he's one of those guys. I actually know a little bit more about Palantir than most. Um, I had to have someone in my life that used these programs in their profession before Palantir was a big thing when they were just starting out as a private company. And now that they're a public company, I really believe in what they're doing and the future of the technology and how they're using it. And we just got the report about another contract they got with the Department of Energy. Their founders, I think, have a good mission for Palantir. I think doing the direct listing was a big time pitch. And here's why I think Palantir is good for the long term. Palantir is all about technology, and it's about AI, and it's about the future of data. And the world is just going to use data more and more and more. There is no part of our future that doesn't have data in it. And if it doesn't have data in it, it's because something horrible happens, like an apocalypse, like Mad Max, and investing doesn't matter at that point. So I like Palantir for the long term. I think in the short term, you could see some problems and the stock could go down, but I'm investing for the long term. That's why I'm not buying an option on this. I'm buying actual shares that I plan on holding for 5, 10 years. And I think there's a lot of potential there for that. Of course, to each their own, but I think this is also a more risky stock than some I'll buy, and more risky than the other one I want to show you, Moderna. Most of you know Moderna because of their success during COVID and the vaccine, the mRNA vaccine, which has revolutionized medicine, and that is why I'm buying Moderna. I was fortunate enough to be a Moderna investor before COVID happened, but on this account, I want to own some Moderna for the future of their cancer research and other things. Let's look at Moderna's website. Always go to the website, especially if you don't understand. Let's look at the pipeline and let's look at the clinical trials. Because what we want to do is we want to see some of the things that they're doing, some of the things that they're working on, whether it's respiratory viruses, whether it's a melanoma, whatever it may be. I am very interested in Moderna's studies, their clinical trials, their pipelines, the therapeutic areas, everything that has a role in the future success of Moderna and the mRNA vaccine. I believe that this mRNA vaccine is going to change the world, and because of that, Moderna is one of the ones I want to be in. I also believe that due to COVID and the money coming out, Moderna does not have as high of a PE ratio as people think, which would make it probably my cheapest stock other than Ford. Ford and GM. Yes, I am doing 2 stocks. Ford, $12 a share. Moderna was $130 a share, and I bought two of those, but I'm buying 8 Ford shares for $12. And the reason I'm buying both Ford and GM is I believe that the market on EV is massive and that this push is about to take a big step forward in the next few years with the current political climate. And Ford has the highest selling truck in the world, the F-150, and the EV version of that is coming out. I want to be in a stock in a company that's doing this. So if we go back to my portfolio, I have Ford and GM, very low PE ratios. DraftKings, speculative based on legalization of sports betting. Right now, they only operate in 5 states, and they're still doing well. So I can't wait till it's all 50 states, and that day is coming. And SoFi is definitely a long shot speculative in the world of finance and loans and investing. And then I got Moderna, which is medical, or my medical field, mRNA. Palantir, my technology play. Next, I'm going to be looking towards like an industrial, something that long term will have some growth potential, but not just an industrial. I need to look in the sector of like goods or sales because I want to have some diversification in this portfolio. And of course, if I'm looking towards the future, I need to look at the future of the industry, the marijuana industry, and other industries like that. So when we look at this, this is the way portfolio is broken out. Buying 10 shares of SoFi today, 2 shares of Moderna, 5 shares of Palantir, 8 shares of Ford. And if you look, the total values, it's pretty balanced. Moderna is technically my biggest holding because it's $260 because those shares were expensive. But I also believe Moderna has a long way to go. And if you look at some of those big cap medical pharmas, you know that this thing could really go if they go. So some speculation, some safe plays, some slow movers with Ford and GM, even though they're both up 40% this year. That's a massive gain, and we're only in April. But I'm really happy with the purchases today. And each month I might add to some of these, but I might bring in some new stocks. It's important to see how things go and go with the times, but I'm going to be adding to these positions. But today, those were my buys and why. I hope you're having a good day. If you bought stock today, tell me what you bought, how much it cost, how many shares you got. And yeah, I'm BK, and I'll see you next time.